That's a shame, because that was one of the best improvisations I've done for one of these. Okay, sorry. This is gonna be a fun one. Hopefully, fun today, because we are having a look at not the new Backwash album, which might be a more heralded, more exciting overall experience for the avid music listener. No, sorry about that. We're not going to have a listen to that today, but we might listen to it in the future because I'm sure it's going to be exciting. But today I just could not resist Dreams on Toast. And of course, yes, we have to readjust this window because last time we had an old problem with that Imperial Triumphant album, didn't we? It was naughty. It was a naughty album cover. And so we had to make some changes. But not with this one. Here we've just got lovely Justin with his lovely smile, or laughing, I guess, which is a little bit different. And a slightly scarier looking man. Standing behind him, what? Security? I don't know. It's a bit confusing as an album cover goes. There's a lot of blue, which is nice, like very airy-fairy kind of thing. And the album's called Dreams on Toast, which is no doubt gonna wake me up and put me to sleep at the same time. That's what I'm sure they're aiming for. So what to say about The Darkness, eh? I have loved The Darkness for many a year. And then there was that period of estrangement where I feel we were both growing as people, and now we are back together. We were back together by Easter is Cancelled. I missed Hotcakes and Pinewood Smile, and I think there's another one in there that I haven't caught up with. I listened to a bit of Hotcakes and I was kind of interested, but I didn't end up listening to the whole album. But I absolutely loved their first two, which we know very well, don't we? Those that's definitely not how it goes, is it? Great. Absolutely one of the all-time best riffs. And what an unusual band to come out in the 2000s. Really, there's no comparison with anyone else to reach such success in what is essentially quite backwards looking rock kind of style. Now, that's to say nothing of the quality of the actual music, which I think is mostly very high, especially in that period. And I would say Easter is Cancelled is also a highlight, really. There's a lot of great stuff on Easter is Cancelled, including that particular song, Easter is Cancelled. I'm a big fan of Heavy Metal Lover. What else is there? There's Rock and Roll Deserves to Die, which has some evil vocals on it. Yeah, there's good stuff. I wasn't such a fan of Motorheart. I thought it was very silly. And because Easter is cancelled had some less silly and more just good things on it, I was not expecting that. But I feel like I've been put more in the expecting some silliness situation for this one. So we'll see if that's what we get. I'm just going to join the stream myself so that I can see the chat. What am I called? Oh yeah. Snowball farming. Snowball farming. There we go. Okay, here we go. I'm on. Right, I can see the chat. Lovely stuff. Let's get that pillow out of the way. Let's listen to this crazy music. No, we're not starting with Walking Through Fire. Rock and Roll Party Cowboy. Okay. Oh, it's sliding up, isn't it? It's not sliding. It's a decompressed whammy bar, which I can't demonstrate on any guitar because I broke my whammy bar off the guitar that had one, and none of the other guitars I have one available to be fitted without taking out the entire bridge. So I haven't got a whammy bar, but it goes basically press that in, it decompresses the strings, and that means that they're all floppy and they're making much lower pitches than normal. Obviously we've also got distortion on that sound as well, very thick guitar sound, and then we've got something like that, very classic kind of sounding riff just there. Let's hear it one more time. A little bit of other distorted noise before as well. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, what to say about that? This it's almost pentatonic, isn't it? And sort of the heart of the riff, it has that blues note there with just a slight hint of it. But we've got that in thirds, and because those two strings are different tensions, you can't bend them to the same degree, so one's going up a little bit more than the other, so you get this slightly weird phasing sound as they go from a tight major third to something closer to a minor third. But it's very, very fast, and the thing about that is that we're getting not just the pentatonic notes, but we're also getting that flat fifth and the sixth, the major sixth, or the Dorian sixth if you like. So by doubling that in thirds, it's adding a whole lot more harmony to something that's still pretty simple really, but and it's a very common thing going back to, say, well, Chuck Berry maybe. I'm not sure Chuck Berry did the bend of them, but he definitely used that kind of thing. So yeah, interesting. Good old-fashioned rock and roll music then. Yeah. Is it that? Oh yeah, we're in B, by the way. We're in B. Like oh yeah, it sort of reminds me of what's that again? Keep Yourself Alive. Keep Yourself Alive by Queen. Yeah, which is sort of, and it's from the first Queen album, and it's also sort of before Queen became this, or it sort of starts that album, and it starts it off going, here we are, we're not so out there to be a completely crazy, artistic, classically inspired group. We are just doing your old-fashioned blues stuff, but in a slightly more accessible way. No, that wasn't what they were doing, and maybe that's not what The Darkness is doing either. It's not that. It's not that. It's just the power chord. And then we're back. So yeah, we've set ourselves up with that big uncompression of the whammy bar, getting all the strings up to a B chord, which is still pretty low actually, isn't it? Thinking about it. And then yeah, we've got the riff comes in, and then it sounds like from that ambient noise we're going to tighten up and we're going to do something more like an actual song. Yeah, so lovely. The bass is just chugging, doing B's, 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 in a very punchy way, and then I think it goes down to the other chords there. I remember seeing a Justin Hawkins rise again. I remember seeing one of those relating to Fontaine's DC, Boys in the Better Land, where he commented on them using that particular set of chords. It's D, A, and E in that respect, but if you think about it from a musically theoretical perspective, these have the same relationship. Like if you play D, a D shape up on the 7th fret, an A shape up on the 7th fret, and an E shape up on the 7th fret, you get exactly the same thing. So it's the same. I like to think of it as like a flat 7 chord, 4 chord, and a 1 chord. But you could think of this as the 5, but anyway, that's not really relevant. The point is, it's a tried and tested rock cliche in a good way. Oh yeah, and the drums are on. We're on the toms and the kick drum. We haven't got much snare at the moment. Let's just check that's true for the previous section. Yeah, it's just kick drum really here. A few crashes. And there's the toms are in. The other guitar is the interesting one, I suppose, because it's really just holding a note, and it keeps getting harmonics off that note, and then it comes back down to the root note. So it's like holding for feedback from a really overdriven amp, and then at some point it plucks it again. And so we've got this much more active guitar, and then this sort of ambient space-making guitar, if you like. By the way, if you hear sort of otherworldly ghost noises, it's because my guitar has all these strings vibrating on them, and when I'm excited I wiggle, and that makes those wiggle. Okay, big snare hit, and now we're in, aren't we, with a squeal of guitar as well, going up to there. What is that, top D? Yeah. So like the 22nd fret, but it's probably just a bit of a bend up rather than specifically putting your finger on that fret, but it's very high anyway. There was one other thing I want to say, which is that the guitar in this last, let's say, build up intro section before that snare hit and we're going into a more standard groove, before that happens, there's also some more chugging guitars that come in. Something like that. I think the rhythm is more complicated across the bars, but that's the basic thing going on there. Yeah, so we have gone into, well, a standard, I mean, it's like kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. So really, really, you know, bare bones AC/DC-esque simple drum thing here, but just with a lot of punch. I think we've got maybe the open hi-hat on all those beats too. So this is really like drums 101. But yeah, when we come to those chords, it suddenly slows down a little. Well, it doesn't slow down. Sorry, that's the wrong word to use. We feel the space more because we don't have that snare hit on the second beat. We just get bar open space with the hi-hat being the only thing that carries on. There was another strange guitar sounding thing coming in there with like a delay on it, just going I think, but it had some strange chirps all around. I'm gonna have a listen to it again. Wow. Yeah, it's one of those whammy bar ones again, but it's going down this time, compressing or decompressing the strings, pushing down the whammy bar, and making that whoa dive bomb sound. Okay, sounds like we're going to come into a verse now. Is there anything I want to say before that? No, not really. We've just repeated the same section several times, but there have been textural changes in each one. The first one was just done over a wash of bee flavoured noise. The second one, we brought the band in. We had the chugging bass, we had the kick drum on the beats, and we had a little bit of ambient noise, but in a slightly different way, with that harmonic driven feedback from the second guitar. There are some other guitars just you know, giving us background as well. There's not just two guitars, there's probably 3 or 4 or maybe more, and no doubt some of these are double tracked as well. Then the third one brings the toms. So the toms are now in, making that drum groove a little bit thicker, a little bit more exciting. And then the next thing to come was that guitar. So that's in the fourth one. The guitar doing the chugs, that kind of thing. And then that's when the whole you know, groove as we would expect it begins, and we get 2 versions of that. So that's 6 versions of the same riff before we even get to the first verse. It's a good way of getting it in your head, isn't it? You just play it over and over again and give different textural things so people don't get bored.
Leather jacket, no sleeves, Harley Davidson, yes please.
Sorry, I made the wrong comparison. This isn't AC/DC, this is ZZ Top, isn't it? This is, yeah, Sharp Dressed Man, basically, isn't it? It's, well, to be fair, he kind of sings more in Sharp Dressed Man. He goes, cool hair, same chords as well. But, is it in the same? It's close, isn't it? It might be 1 higher. Yeah. I think it's 1 higher. So it's a very close key to Sharp Dressed Man. But really, regardless, what we're going for here is that smoky, cool guy talking a whole lot of stuff over a piece of music. Yeah. Why go to the shops? You can get everything delivered now these days. That kind of thing, but with a little more meaning to it, maybe.
Sleeves, Harley Davidson, yes please.
I guess that's a bit Def Leppard-y as well, isn't it? That gang vocal then as well. But it seems unfair to just liken these guys to the people that have come, you know, before them and made these particular ideas. Point is, we've got one particular new piece of music that puts these together in a new way.
Super lighter, Margaritas, Jack Daniels, big party.
Jack Daniels. Is this a Sean Connery? Is this a Sean Connery impression? I don't know. It could be. It's very exciting, isn't it? I guess there's loads of people you could cite as influences here, but just on the first pass, those are what are coming flooding into my mind. Being somewhat of a rock and roll aficionado anyway, it's only natural. But yeah, we've kept those chords going in the same kind of way. So we've got basically 3 whole bars on the B, and then after the third bar we get a little bit of A and E. It's working in the same way as it was in the beginning. So it's almost like we haven't really changed. We're just missing that most interesting thing in the riff. We're missing that, and we've got this vocal instead, which is very characterful, a little bit wry. It's fun. Okay, we do actually have the riff now. Let me just check it wasn't there in the previous section.
Harley Davidson. Leather jacket.
It actually is there. It's in the left ear solely now, whereas it was a bit thicker and played by several guitars before. Now it's just
No sleeves. Harley Davidson. Yes.
no sleeves. Sadly, no Harley Davidson for me.
The lighter. Margaritas. Jack Daniels. Big party. Spiderweb. Tattoos. Solar patches. Lots of blues. Ponytail. Bandana. Steak and bites. Big party.
Okay, so there we changed the chord progression underneath, and we changed the instrumentation to some... Well, no, the instrumentation stays the same, but the way they're playing is quite different. But yeah, we just had 2 bars of B. No, we didn't even have that. We had the same that we would have before. Hang on. Let's just hear this again.
Solar patches. Lots of blues. Ponytail. Bandana. Please. The lighter. Margaritas. Jack Daniels. Big party.
Okay, so this is all happening up to this point as we would expect. Then...
Spiderweb. Tattoos. Solar patches. Lots of blues. Ponytail.
Okay, I see what it is. It's that, yeah, right. So I'll go back and check, but what I think it is that we've actually got the chord progression sort of not elongated, but we only get that A, E every second time. Okay, so it's like... Third bar, the fourth bar the same, fifth bar the same, sixth bar the same, seventh bar the same, 1, 2, 3. So it's that 8th bar where we get the A and the E. But in the part that we've just got to, we have it take a slightly different turn. We have the B for the first bar, the second bar, the third bar, the fourth bar, and then we go down to E on the 5th bar and the 6th bar, and F sharp on the 7th and 8th. Now the F sharp is a new chord here. It's the 5 chord, so it's not particularly exciting. That's rude. It's not particularly innovative or unexpected. It feels very natural in relation to these other chords, but it is new, and so it brings this excitement in a slightly different way, and we're really lingering on it, and we've changed the harmonic rhythm just before it, so it feels like we're building something else. This 4 and this 5 really build in this particular way, this slow bars long build. And so, are we going anywhere, or are we going back to the same thing? Let's listen. Here's the...
Steak and bites. Big party.
Okay, definitely going somewhere. Yeah, that we get a snare hit at the beginning of the F sharp, and then it's just kick, 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 big party. Where are we going? Okay, same thing. But now we've got gang vocals singing part of that. Oh, gosh, where's my voice gone today? Something like that. Okay, it's early. I apologise for what's happening here.
I'm a rock and roll party cowboy.
With a new bit of melody over the A and the E. I'm a rock and roll party cowboy. Yeah, going up to that F sharp. So it's like sort of exciting passaggio range for the male singer. Little, little push, little belt. Good strong stuff. Okay, so there we have now gone to a slightly different feel section. So instead of going A, E, back to B, we go A, and when we would go to E, we just go to like a G sharp. Now that G sharp is part of the E chord, not a part we normally hear, because we normally hear the power chord solely, but that G sharp is in the harmonics there. There it is. And then we go to E for the next section. What is the next section? Okay, so the next section was that E to F sharp bit again, which I guess is our transitional feel. It's our transitional feel. In and of itself, it's not the most exciting section, and the I wouldn't say is necessarily enough to make it super interesting by itself. And there's, other than the interrupted drum groove, the drums doing something else, there's not too much going on there really. So it is just this build-up kind of feeling. And is it taking us back to a verse? That would be what I would expect. Let's see.
Electric guitars, yeah, bad boys.
Okay, so now we've got some. It's basically call and response, but what it feels more like is sort of initiation and demonstration, something like that. So we've got the initiation, which is the voice going guitar, and then we've got all the way up there with those piercing notes. Yeah, beautiful stuff, and it keeps going that even after he stops saying guitar. Let's hear it again.
Electric guitars, bad boys.
Bad boys.
Where the ladies at? Bring the noise.
Okay, maybe just for bad boys. So electric guitar, bad boy. And then it maybe plays something over that last gang shout as well. But this is another verse, but we've got an extra guitar doing the stuff in between each of the vocal sections. So we get a bit of vocal, we get a bit of guitar, we get a bit of vocal, we get a bit of guitar, get a bit of vocal. Actually, then we didn't get a bit of guitar after that one, did we?
Hey, where the ladies at? Bring the noise.
That's actually a different. Oh, let's go back and check if that happened the first time. If it did, I'll be annoyed with myself. It's definitely an infectious riff.
Leather jacket, no sleeves. Harley Davidson. Yes,
This is just B, isn't it?
the lighter.
Okay, it didn't happen the first time, so we have got a slightly different feeling going on in the background here. Because we have the B.
Electric guitars, bad
Oh, and we stay on E. Right. So it sort of feels very similar to the verse, but with the chord progression underneath is using the same chords but in a different weighting. Normally we have lots of time on the B, but this time we have just one bar on the B, straight down to the A, straight over to the E, and then we wait on the E with a little bit of playing around with that blues third again. That's a sort of very classic kind of bluesy lick, bluesy riff. Yeah, so it feels really similar in all the other respects, but the guitar is playing a different, not a different sequence, but the sequence in a different weighting, which is an interesting thing to change. Almost imperceptible, as you notice. I didn't notice that it was there until I had to look at it just then.
Heavy metal,
okay, same thing here.
soft rock, big body.
I do appreciate heavy metal, hard rock, soft rock, big party. The quadrumvirate. Guitar solo. It's lovely, and I'm not gonna try and tab it out for you, but I do like that. I'm not gonna do a 1.5 bend on this, but oh, I did. That I can't remember. I can't work out what it reminds me of, but the big bend followed by the chromatic thing is, yeah. It's just very nice. I really like that. I've always found these guys to have very lyrical guitar parts, and that continues. So this is our chorus, isn't it, really, here? It's over the main riff, it's over the main sequence. The guitar solo, by the way, was over the altered sequence, where we have more time on E. Okay, so that time we had a different situation to the first time it came up. The first time, I think if it was the same words, ain't gonna read no Tolstoy, and we went down to E. This time, ain't gonna read no Tolstoy, we've gone back to B. So we're going for a double chorus. And this particular one features crazy guitar. Some more crazy stuff going on at this current moment than we've generally heard. This sounds more effects driven, which is, I think, rare. Though it could be like, I've only just recently learned about a whammy bar flick. Has an amazing sound. I've only just learned about it, and I'm somehow, well, never tried it myself because at age 14 I broke my whammy bar and I've never had one since. Yeah, listen to that. Crazy noise. There we go. Took 2.5 minutes to get any falsetto. Justin, come on. Don't keep us waiting, it's mean. Ain't gonna leave no Tolstoy. Not particularly high, just going up to the A. And you think maybe he could have belted that, maybe. Ain't gonna read no Tolstoy! Something like that. Jeez. Okay. Kind of breakdown section. We've got some piano. It's gone a bit Chariots of Fire. Well, we've got the same chords. And those bends. Okay. We've got the same chords and they're in the weighting of that second verse. So we get 1 bar of B, 1 bar of A, 2 bars of E. But we're really piano led here. There's still the drums ticking on with that kick drum, and what else is there? Yeah, kind of riff in this mid-range here. Something like that. Not quite that. Something like that. Simple inverted power chord or just a high power chord kind of riff. Altering with the chord changes. Okay. Yeah, it would make sense if it was that. Something like that.
Loaded 6-string on my back, Marshall stack, double check.
Okay. Well, at this point, I feel like it's necessary to mention at least that loaded 6-string on my back. Let's just hear he says loaded. If he doesn't say loaded, I might not.
Loaded 6-string on my back.
Yeah, it's from Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi, and it might be from somewhere before that, but he's what is it? Oh, I'm still in this key. We're here, aren't we? Oh God. Yeah. Now walk these streets, loaded 6-string on my back. Ah, yes. 6-string on my back. I play for keeps, 'cause I might not make it back. All the classic guitar sequences there, rock guitar sequences, but it is actually the same set of chords in a new key. D, let's call that our 1. C, that's our flat 7. G, that's our flat 4. So we've got the same chord sequence as Wanted Dead or Alive, and we've got the same lyric, and the same lyric is really, deliberate. It's hard to come up with lyrics that are exactly the same as someone else's by accident. It does, I guess, sometimes happen, and especially if you're just listening passively to these things, they can filter in. But I'm sure Justin Hawkins must know Wanted Dead or Alive like the back of his hand. So that's here. We're dealing in cliches. We're deliberately choosing the most sort of testosterone-fueled rock and roll standards to put in this one, I think. Maybe the ones which are most associated with, I don't know, cocksure Americans. Seems a bit unfair. I don't know.
Marshall stack, double check.
Double Jack. Second reference to Jack Daniels, isn't it?
And aviators.
Which I guess is it? No. It might be a Lemmy thing. No, a Lemmy thing. A Lemmy thing. I think Lemmy always loved Jack Daniels. But then, who didn't, apparently?
Raise some hell. Let's raise some hell. See you later.
Okay, so we again got a kind of build through there, didn't we? The double time on the drums. Because we've been going like this and then building through. And some unholy noise.
See you later.
Yeah. So, what? I guess we're back to the B chord, but then we've got some crazy guitars giving us, the minor third, maybe the 7th. We've got one doing that, so that's giving us the 5th and the 7th. And yeah, we've got one holding the top guitar. So suddenly this thick, very harmonious guitar texture with loads of things. A little bit like cloudy because there's so many, but clearly we've also got those classic B ones going on as well. Oh, my mistake. That is actually the vocals, and you can tell that by the way that it goes up. Yeah. Something like that. Classic Darkness stuff there. Really second to none in that particular field of exciting, masculine and feminine, perfectly intertwined. That's how I see it. Yeah, some other classic. That's Lynyrd Skynyrd, isn't it? That's from Freebird, and then it moves it up in a way that doesn't happen in Freebird, but yeah, very similar to the Freebird thing. Might come up somewhere else as well. All the way up to that B. Yeah. It's fun stuff. It's very guitar laden. There's a lot going on in those guitars. Not necessarily that much going on in the other stuff, but that's fine because it gives the space to the guitars to really go crazy. So this is like an altered version of the chorus. The chorus was mainly led by that, but that's now not so clear if it's there at all. And we've got extra sung vocals which we didn't have before. We had that riff until the end, the A chord, and then we got the I'm a rock and roll party cowboy. This time we've got basically the same thing, but it's just happening more often. Yeah, so we get it. So 3 times over the space of 4 bars, which is a cool way of doing it because that's, irregular, isn't it? And it gives weight to the last one, which is a little bit longer than the first 2. We've got that 5th jump as well in all of these, which is I always think is quite a strong declamatory kind of attack. And I ain't gonna read them, so destroy the things you enjoy. Okay, slightly different version here. So we hold that top note. I destroy the things you enjoy. We still get da-da at the end. And we've also got some chorus vocals, proper like thick choral vocals, rather than the gang vocals that we've been hearing before. Let's hear that again. Yeah, so it's really doing like the whole chord, this kind of thing. The whole chord. More than that, really, to be honest. I'm a rock and roll party cowboy with the blue boy in my head, and I ain't gonna read no soul. We're just going round and round and round. Round and round and round and round. It doesn't look like we're planning to do any other section at the end of this song. That's totally fine. This is a good way of making, a strong message in a song. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. You don't need too many different variations. It's really pushing it. So if I'd waited a little longer, I would have realised, but we're now doing the alternate sequence where we spend a bit more time on the E and a little less time on the B. And we've got more of a guitar solo going on here as well now, with a few more vocal yelps too. It's really lyrical guitar, and when it sort of devolves into tapping to some degree, really that tends to happen towards the end of the phrase, and if it happens in the middle, I think if that's going to happen, it's going to be done in a slightly more lyrical way anyway. But yeah, it's very fun guitar playing. I had something else to say. Oh yeah, the textures. The guitars keep coming in with slightly different sort of timbres to them, which add a new, like, okay, repeating the same thing over and over again can get dull for a lot of people, and the only thing that would make them stay, if anything, is this textural play. And that's what keeps happening. Every single section seems to have a slight different texture to it, whether that's the choir vocals, or it's another guitar coming in, or it's a different guitar coming in with a different sound. And it's effective, if relatively simple, really, but it's just thought through, which is the most important thing. Okay, did we have a little bit of extra time there? Let's just hear that again. Unnecessary. I was telling Pierce the Veil off for doing that, wasn't I? Whatever. It's funny. Ha. Very strong, though. Very strongly said in comparison to these soft, sweet, parrot noises. Yeah, it's just really fun, isn't it? It's just fun. It's a good starting place for anyone learning guitar. There's loads in there to just get into. It's probably a good starting place for someone learning drums. The only complicated drums came right at that end, right? We got and we held for a good long time on that 4 chord. We're gonna finish on that 4 chord. The drums doing crazy, and then we finish on the 1 chord, which is just satisfying. It feels like, a definitive end to a song when that happens, and it doesn't always happen. I will definitely point it out if it doesn't happen. Anyway, that's our first song. A good rousing beginning to the album. I Hate Myself. Okay, so this is even more trad. This is like proper rock and roll style guitar. We've got that fifth, and then we get that added 6th, and we go back to the 5th. And we've got all the chords that we would expect from a 12-bar blues. Now, we're not playing a 12-bar blues, and we're playing it significantly faster than it would be played most of the time in the rock and roll era, but it's still the basic premise is that's what we're doing. We've got A as our 1 chord, D as our 2 chord, our 4 chord, E as our 5 chord, and then we're back. It's not quite equal though. Let's hear it one more time. Okay, this intro is slightly different. Because we're really just hammering maybe the octaves, of A while the bass goes. So we've got a little bit longer on the 4 than we've got on the 5, and I'm sure that will be replicated now. Big fill. Here's our 4, 4, 5, 1. Yeah, so first bar is 1, 1, Second bar is 2. Sorry, 4. Why do I keep doing that? And then 4 again. 5. 1. So that third bar is filled with a little bit of 4, a little bit of 5, and then back to 1 for the fourth bar. We still got mostly 1, but a lot of 4, not much 5.
There goes the best thing that ever happened to anyone.
Ooh, we've got some harmonized vocals. There goes the best thing that ever happened to anyone. With there goes the best thing that ever happened to anyone, I guess. Let's just hear it.
The best thing that ever happened to anyone.
Yeah, they're locked in together. This is not my favourite kind of thing. Is basically what's happening there. So we're going from a higher version of the notes in the A chord, passing through that one to a lower version of the notes in the A chord. Both notes work in the same way that way. They're just going down the scale. Also, we had just a sudden stop from the band, didn't we? And you know how much I love those.
There goes the best thing that ever happened to anyone. There goes a little miss forever and a day.
Okay, so the first bar is that stop. The second bar is on E. I guess it maybe 2 bars. The best thing that ever happened to anyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And we do the same thing again. This time the drums carry on through there, so it feels again like a different texture.
There goes a girl I was incredibly cruel to. I thought that she was in my way. The girl I adore. Oh, she don't wanna know me anymore.
Okay, we've got some chords. I'm going to have to listen to it again. But basically what we've got there is we start this new section, which let's call it the chorus, although we might find a more fitting thing for the chorus. We start it with that 4 chord, and we've got the 1, and the 5, which is that E chord, 1, which is the A, and our 6, our first minor chord, there too. Might get the 2 after that as well. It gets a little more complicated. Let's see.
Oh, she don't wanna know me anymore.
Oh, yeah, no, that wasn't quite early enough. Let's try that again.
Girl I was incredibly cruel to. I
There's
thought
our
that she
4,
was in my
there's our
way.
1, there's our 6, there's our 5.
Oh, she don't wanna know me anymore.
Yeah, so that's like she don't wanna know anymore. One more time.
Oh, she don't wanna know me anymore.
Yeah, no. She don't wanna know anymore. Okay, straightforward. D. Can you see that end of my guitar? Yeah, just about. D. A. So that's 4. No, sorry. E to a low version of an E chord, but not as low as you would normally get. It has a G sharp in the bass. D, E with G sharp in the bass, which is quite a sudden change, because we get this do 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 do, quite a big, world-ripping kind of event. But it's not, fortunately, not D to G sharp, the chord. That's really a world-ripping event. But we get the E chord, which is the normal 5, so it's pretty comfortable. It's just that the bass movement feels a little weird. Then we go from that 5 to 1 to 4 to 1. Okay, so still pretty much in the same place we were before. No theatrics really here at all. This is more of a straightforward kind of song than what we are used to by the previous track. We've got much less sort of testosterone going on here. It's much softer. It's got a minor chord, which is our most common minor chord, the 6. Let's see if we get the 2 or the 3 any other time. Maybe we won't. Why complicate things? Another fill. Okay, this is the kind of melody that, again, is really unparalleled. We get that. Let's hear it again. Sorry, I'm not concentrating. Hate myself, I hate my... No, it's not, is it? Hate myself, I hate myself. Nice. There it goes. It's basically working up the A chord with every note, okay? Each chord we've got a 1, 3 and a 5, which are so called because they're those notes in the particular scale that you would use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. And we're going, I hate myself, I hate myself. So what are those top two notes? They're continuations. We get 3, 5, we get then 8. 8 is actually the same note as 1, because in the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can do that too. So 8 is the same, and then we get up to 10, which is the same as the 3. So we get all those notes, big old upwards arpeggio. To be fair, there is one other song recently that has done this, and it was last year, and it was The Feminine Urge by Last Dinner Party. And I have already actually analysed that, so go and have a listen to my version of that. Okay, so this is back to the chord progression from the beginning that we started with, where we've got a little bit longer on the 4 chord before a quick 5 chord, and then we're back. Another part of the melody there that's fun is this jump of a 6th. Hate myself, hate myself. I can't tell if he does it all in falsetto. I think he probably does. Hate myself. I hate myself. Is less my kind of thing. Cash converters, but it's all right. Yeah, the doo-doo reminds me of. No, it's gone. Doo-doo-doo. It's like a new wave kind of thing. Yeah, it's Human League. It's the one with that one. So can't work out which one that is if you like. Yeah, so he's really switching between this higher part, the falsetto of his voice, which is very strong, but it has this softer sound to it compared to the more meaty lower part. So hate myself is strong, and then I hate myself has this sweetness to it. Not a lot of singers bother with this kind of thing, or if they do sing in this range, they join it together more like hate myself, I hate myself. You know, joining that, making it more connected to the lower voice, so it sounds less fey, less sweet. But Justin Hawkins doesn't do this, and it's quite fun that way. So it's like this big switch in the different parts, and he just incorporates it into the line. He doesn't make concessions and sing in the different part at a different time. He just sings the melody how it fits in his voice, and it's really inspiring. And yeah, we had a little bit of a different coda to the melody that second time through. Let's hear it again. Yeah, so he's still got the hate myself so you don't have to, which is yeah, more lower, I don't know, slightly more straightforward than, but they both work in a very similar way. It's more coming down. Some real fun drum fills going on here. Let's hear that one again. Yeah, like the snare fits in there in an interesting way. Anyway, we're back into the second verse, aren't we?
7 years of my life.
Okay, so this time we don't have a sudden stop, we don't have just the drums carrying on. We have some muted strings carrying on, keeping up that really upbeat pace. If that's the tempo, what beat per minute is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, something like 160, maybe a bit higher, I think.
There's a girl who only saw me, not my influence. Oh my will.
Interesting addition to the melody there. Tag on the end that, oh my wealth. But it's filling up empty space, so there's no real problem with it at all.
Any human being I have ever loved more than I hate myself. Well, I am sure.
Okay, so really this is more like a pre-chorus section here, isn't it? Or maybe like the second part of the verse. And it's, yeah, again, the softer one with that minor chord in there. It's more complicated. It feels more like a Fountains of Wayne or a just neatly created pop rock song in that respect.
She don't wanna know me anymore.
Okay, and we got some more chorus vocals there. This time they sounded much more sort of electronic, more in the front of the mix, just doing those chords. She don't wanna know me anymore. That kind of thing. But we've got more vocals doing the same thing. Everything locked in very nicely. Yeah, not to my tastes, but there we are. Yeah. Is that from something? I don't know. I'm going to stop just making... just trying to point out the references. Although it is, isn't it? It's very similar to Welcome to Paradise, which is kind of how this sounds. This sounds like a Green Day song to some degree, right?
Anymore.
Not that. Very, very similar to the Welcome to Paradise from Green Day, and these kind of power chords going at a fast pace, going through the major key. That is really, really very common in Green Day as well. Anyway, sorry, that's the last one. That's the last one, I promise. We've got some sax in here. Doing that kind of thing. Which is fun. Just a quick woo with the guitars. Nice. Okay. So we've gone more to the minor side here. And we've got that repeated up the octave with the sax. So this is a different kind of bridge section. Okay. We've got one sax mostly to the left, which is giving us that riff. And then we've got one in the right here, which is less distinct, but is definitely giving us something else. Yeah, it's more improvised and it's lower, so it's harder to hear, and it's really panned quite hard right, from what I can tell. I've recently discovered that my ears don't hear quite the same. I mean, this is true for everybody, but there's a chance that you don't necessarily hear this the same as me. But yeah, that one in the right is less distinct, and it really gives us kind of like flutter tongue kind of thing on that minor third of the A chord. Yeah, so we were just on A and E there, really. That kind of thing. It feels a little bit bluesy because there's not a pure third happening there. It's not just fully minor. I think we're getting occasional major thirds as well. But and also in the context of the rest of the song, we're feeling that majorness go into this section to some degree. It's not really gone. No, we're doing a different thing here. We're still keeping a lot the same. The texture is the same in many ways, other than the saxes having come in, and the playing style is very much the same. We're just doing a slightly more minor based riff. Or we were, but now we're doing something else. Oh. That was a fun breakdown, a short stop section. That's kind of what I would like them to be like, rather than just a one bar that stops. Sorry, I've just realised my bleeding normalizer is on, so I'm going to turn that off so that maybe I'll cut through the music a bit more. Let's just see what those levels are like. Oh, pretty similar. All right, someone's normalised this quite well, this album then. But yeah, there's sort of just a load of extra noises happening in that gap there. You can hear Hammond organ, which I didn't even know was in the track. We've got saxophone doing a nice little riff there. A load of extra percussion as well. Yeah. What is that? Is that a wood block? If anyone knows, please do let me know. Oh, it doesn't strike me as a wood block, but I can't for the life of me put my finger on what it does sound like. It's quite a fun sound though. Could be a wood block. Oh no, it's a cowbell. It's a cowbell. Of course, it's a cowbell. Which is a really fun. Should have been in Rock and Roll Party Cowboy a bit more featured, shouldn't it? Really, but here we are. We're getting it in this one. Nice. So we've got chorus vocals there again, but they are so lost in the mix of everything else that it might as well not be there. Really, all I'm getting there is the guitar and the main melody. But I imagine it's in thirds, something like this. Something like that, I imagine. Okay, and there they break through because he stops. Do! And then they slide up. Nice. So they're not quite as locked in there as normal, and so you can hear them moving at a separate time to the main vocal. And they slide up again, slightly sharp, maybe. Let's do that again. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. It sounds like they get to this augmented version instead. And it should be the E there, but it goes just a little high. Fun. Yeah, I think the whole thing goes a bit high. So we get something like that. And not the Phrygian harmony I was expecting from this track. Okay. Again, a great fill. And then, yeah, we're into... Well, I would have thought this would be where the song ended. Are we just going to have a bit of a freak out before the end? Let's see where it goes. Oh, a guitar solo! That's fun, isn't it? Just sliding down those thirds. Again, kind of classic thing to do in blues or in rock, old rock, but it's nonetheless feels very fresh in this particular version. Yeah, fun stuff happening always in the last bar, but whereas we get the sort of catchy bit in the other part. What was it doing? It wasn't that. Let's hear it again. There's that. Yeah. This kind of thing, which is so done. But it's it's an earworm, and it happens about 5 times, maybe more, and yeah, it morphs into, which is very similar but slightly different. So yeah, playing around with the same notes and doing slightly different things with them. This is the heart of memorable improvisation, I would say. Oh, a fade! We don't get fades. We don't get fades very often these days. Yeah, we're really playing into the old crowd. That's nice though. I mean, I don't like fades most of the time, but what fades at least remind you of is that if you see this live, they're not going to fade it. What are they going to do? Extend it. Make something else on the end. It's a really exciting sort of reminder that you want to go and see this live. You don't want to hear the studio sweet, well massaged copy that you can hear on this recording, well normalized. Because what you want to hear is the chaotic, frenetic, exciting performance that they would do live, which would keep going. Yeah, it would be very exciting. I don't know what you mean by you keep saying that ant fades, Francis Inc. So please let me know at some point. Anyway. Well, okay, I keep saying it about fades. Yes. I mean, it's still true about fades. I don't think I've said that it makes you think about the live performance though, but maybe I have. Anyway. That's fun, isn't it? Very unexpected. Just a couple of bars of sweet, beautiful harmony from these vocals. It's not quite right, is it? Yeah. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a G. We've had F sharp to C sharp major, F sharp minor to C sharp major. That's a 1 and a 5 in F sharp minor. That's very common. It feels a bit like Stairway to Heaven, doesn't it? Okay, that's basically what's going on. Even into the next chord, that A, it's Stairway to Heaven, but then we suddenly get a G out of nowhere, which is very unexpected. It doesn't actually go with any of those chords. You could argue that it goes a bit with the A, because you could have them both in the same key, but it's not as if the A prepares you for them at all. It doesn't prepare you for that note, that chord at all, and suddenly that's like more of the basis of where we are. Let's hear it one more time. Someone's been listening. I can't do it. I said I wasn't going to do it. 39. It's 39. It's 39 by Queen. Ah, yeah. 39's really beautiful. Something like that. Yeah. But it has this crazy midsection. Something like that. I can't quite remember. Why not? Let's listen to it for a moment here. I'm going to shift me over to the Spotify screen and get 39 up. Giving away my podcast secrets. So that's like a hint of it, but actually that's not the section. It's yeah. Here it is. That feels awfully loud. Yeah. So just in that bit. Goes between those two chords, which are the Breaking Worlds chords. They're a tritone apart. I call them the colliding worlds chords because they feel like two entirely different worlds, and they're going together here with that beautiful melody over the top. Yeah. So this is the same as that, just undeniably the same. Let's hear it again. Yeah, I mean it does do some different things, but we do have the same world-breaking chord sequence there with the tail. Very similar kind of feeling as well. Wow, this is a crazy set of things. Let's work it through.
My body.
Great ending. Yeah, so that can't be it. No, it doesn't work. Anyway, it's G to a C sharp to a B flat or an A sharp if you like. I feel more A sharp there. But then it goes down to A. Woo! So I think of this as the sort of tertiary shift to end all tertiary shifts because it's kind of two built on top of each other or built on the bottom of each other. Either way. And so it's crazy. And then it goes to that one in the middle, tertiary shifting away again. And then we don't get a tertiary shift, we get what I would call I don't know. I can't just come up with these names, but it's just a semitone drop. So it has this kind of scary sound to it, sort of. Yeah. So each of these chord sequences, none of these chords can exist in the same key together. At least not with the one that they go to. Like we could potentially get G and A in the same key, but we can't have G and C sharp, we can't have C sharp and B flat, we can't have B flat and A. None of those exist in the same key without any alterations. So it is really like a big pull all over the place kind of thing, and that's in addition to the pull from the beginning. Yeah, so in the space of 17 seconds, we've gone from an F sharp and a C sharp, which are quite nice together. The A, well, we've heard it before. So the G, the C sharp, the B flat, back to the A, and then we get bum 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 bum. And clearly, we are not going to carry on with this exciting nonsense. We're going to go into some old country feeling normal thing on A, hopefully. Let's see.
Couldn't handle it, I couldn't hold it in.
Yeah, it's very country feeling, very old country with that, it could be a kick drum, but it's very breathy kick drum. Ba, 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 this kind of thing, rather than being very tight like it has been on the previous tracks. It's got this breath to it and space, so it really lets everything sing, all the harmonics and everything. Lovely. We've got, yeah, like sitting around a campfire kind of thing.
I was friendly, powerless, I couldn't do a thing. Beans and rich tomato sauce, familiar and tin. The rest of that long, fateful night was written on the wind.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We've got our old faithful chords, and we do have the 2 minor chord. Something like that. Maybe there's that ending just one more time.
It's written on the wind.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and these lines, they're just guiding lines, really. It's just guiding us from this D chord down to the A chord. Is leading us from the E chord back to the A chord. That's all they're there for. They do sound nice by themselves, but they're not, say, like, hugely innovative. None of this part particularly is. It's just nice, old-fashioned sounding music. Got a little bit of a 16th swing as well. So if we're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, then we go quavers are just fine. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 but then the semiquavers are swung. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 2. That kind of thing, which gives it a little bit more of a cheeky, charming, sort of smiley feel to it. Wow, really, really tight roll there on the snare. If it's real, it kind of doesn't sound real.
By the hand and led her up the stairs. We heard a fridge door opening, the chord sound away.
Yeah. So the melody there, just 2 notes, and with that 5th jump down again, and then he switches from his falsetto to his modal voice on that particular note. He switches between the voices, which is, it clearly shows it's deliberate. He's choosing to use these different voices on these different notes for different effects. And the is more delicate than the next line that comes after it.
The colour left my lover's face, she looked nauseous and pale, 'cause there was something sinister hard on my tail, hard on my...
So almost everyone goes in the same rhythm there. Hard on my tail. And the same melody as well. Cool, let's keep going. We've got that really strong backbeat now. The kick drum is still on the first beat, but then we've got the snare and like a tambourine on the second beat and the fourth beat. And the guitars as well. So there we had a bit of a reference to just that beginning part there, maybe. Got those. Now we got to the minor, and we're back to where we were. But we just had a nice bit of more classically inspired harmony there for a moment.
I'm sorry, everybody. Hard on my tail. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, while the melody goes a bit crazy over the top, that. Yeah, this time we don't go to the G, so that's a fresh relaxation.
But I've got something hard on my tail. It was a tough one to deny, but I remained tight-lipped. Sounded like a backpack being unzipped.
Same kind of thing.
The atmosphere was awful, and I'll never forget.
Oh, but we've got some chorus vocals just in the background there. I didn't notice those.
Atmosphere was awful, and I'll never forget.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the slightly more computerized chorusy sound on the vocals, especially in the context of these quite naturalistic sounds. I think it would be nicer to have them just rather than you know the difference I mean.
Don't think I'm forgiven, certainly not yet. Hard on my tail, hard on my tail. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, it's nice that the melody, it goes to the hard on my tail. It goes up to the F sharp, and then it goes hard on my tail. It goes a little bit higher for the second repeat of the thing. That's a little bit of songcraft.
But I've got something hard on my tail.
Okay. It had to come back at some point. So we've now gone back to our crazy chords, and we've also got a wicked honky tonk. I don't know, some crazy piano. Yeah. So doing you know, really fast alternating between those notes, and then we do the same thing. Same thing up a little bit for that other chord. That's really fun. It's a really big textural change, but I'm quite amused by it, so I'm happy. Same thing. And then as we come back to the A, which feels more settled now. Yeah, we get that going down in the piano and the guitars. It's an octave lower on the guitars. And basically what that is every note from G sharp sliding up into every note from A sharp, just at different times. Sorry, not A sharp, A. It's a fun thing to do, and the piano is giving us different notes to the guitar at the same time. In fact, the piano is no longer there. We've got a bit of a harpsichord, which we had right at the beginning for that more classical sounding thing at the beginning, and we've got what sounds like a xylophone. Oh, my new phone just falls off everything. Yeah, so there's like a xylophone, really woody sound, going up, doing basically the same thing. But it's going up and it's going really high. What is that noise? Let's hear it again. Could be a guitar, could be someone going and getting it mixed. Anyway, we then go back to the G, so we're not done with our crazy chords, I think. I haven't actually explained what those are doing, but it's going up. It's going one note lower than the chord and then one note higher than the chord, coming back to the chord. Doing the same thing there, but it's a semitone higher. And also it sits on a different note in the chord. So that G chord is like, let's say 1 7 1 2 1, but then on the C sharp chord it's 5 sharp 4 5 6 5. So it fits in a different kind of way with the chord, in a slightly more spicy way, I think, on that second one. But it's also done with harmony, so we haven't just got that one. I think we've got that one as well. So it's get the flat 3 of the chord there from that one, while we get the sharp 4 of that one, which is, you know, in a lot of contexts happens in blues and jazz, but to have it sort of drawn out and then to have this higher one, the sharp 4 raised coming down to the 3, that's pretty unusual in this style of music. It does happen in the Queen one though. Love the acoustic of those stick hits there. I think that's just sticks on the drums. I think that's what that is.
How could you do this dreadful thing to me? That's the last time I let you cook on our anniversary.
Good. Yeah.
To rescue the evening, I tried to no avail. There was something sinister hard on my tail.
We keep coming back to Hot on My Tail, right? Which is a nice thing to do with the words. I think the words are silly, but it's well crafted. So we've got at the end of each verse, hot on my tail. Although I actually don't think that's true. I think there are some verses which don't end that way. Let's just check that middle one. Somewhere about there.
Certainly not yet.
Absolute spot on. Yeah, certainly not yet. That's not the same. But it is nice if you do have something always ending with the same words. But it can be constricting. So you've got two options. One is that you just let the words take you where they may, and the other is that you try and force them into hot on my tail being every single time. Well, they didn't take that one. They take them as they come. So that's fine.
The evening, I tried to no avail. There was something sinister hard on my tail. Hard on my tail.
Bum 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 bum. So there, now that we've got those chorus vocals in there, it sounds very like that beginning. Let's hear that beginning again. Yeah, Just like that. Let's try and get spot on.
Something hard on my tail.
Here it is. Almost. Oh! I was a bit too late. I haven't heard that bit yet. Sorry.
On my tail.
Here it is.
Oh, sorry, everybody, but I've got something hard on my tail.
Okay. It's a really nice note to start on there. Bum, bum, bum. Ah, that's a C sharp and it's D chord. Ooh, how I sigh when they ask if I sing. That's a little bit of another song for you, which I'm sure a lot of people know. Another one that hits that suddenly out of nowhere. It's definitely not an actual deliberate reference here, or if it is, I'd be big surprised. Not because it couldn't be, but just because there's actually quite a lot of difference between those two songs. It's the only thing that connects them is that we start on that particular note with that particular chord.
Oh, sorry, everybody, I've got something hard on my tail. My tail.
It doesn't have that, but it's just. Which is, yeah, another absolutely classic guitar riff kind of thing. Okay, and then we're finished. Lovely, very old-timey that one, but with, yeah, like we say, that sort of psychedelic Queen, other worlds moment to it. Okay, Mortal Dread, that's all we'll get through today, but I reckon we'll get through it. Let's do it. Okay, it's with an A at the bottom. Something like that. What's it up here? Let's hear it one more time. Something like that. More like that. That's more or less what it is. It has a kind of feeling of AC/DC, doesn't it? What's that? What's that one? Ah, crap. What could it be? I don't know. Anyway, it's another reference. I'm not pointing them out. It's definitely something AC/DC. And that. Yeah, that's the idea. So we're back in good old classic rock territory. And we got a similar kind of thing with the texture building up, didn't we? We'll hear it again. Just one guitar by itself. Drum hit. Some more drums. Another guitar is coming in, chugging, and then the drum fill, and then we're in. So just little things, playing with the texture just before bringing in the full groove. It's fun. Again, Again, that bass is doing God's work, just bop, 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 bop. And the guitars are doing that as well.
I wake up so early, the sun has only just set.
Okay, so same kind of thing. I've actually scratched myself playing the guitar too hard. What silly. Yeah, so it's similar to the first one. The riff is carrying on into the verse here. It's not leaving space for the vocal. That's okay though, because the main part of the riff is, which is higher than the melody, which is happening just a little bit lower, but enough lower that they don't get in each other's way.
I wake up in a middle-aged body, to the toilet I must get.
Some more musings on mundane human life. That's nice to hear. And the melody is well crafted in that it finishes before they get that da-da-da-da-da, which is the part which would interfere with it. It's in the same kind of register. So it stops there. To the toilet I must get. That kind of thing.
I wake up with no purpose.
Okay, now we've basically just shifted up 2 frets, up a tone. We've just shifted up 2 frets. And the melody is up that high as well, and the riff seems to be going on, but we can't have that low note coming through in the guitar now, so it's coming through in the bass, maybe just the bass, maybe another guitar too. Yeah, it's just there in the bass. But that we get the same.
I wake up and the world is changing. I don't feel any different, yeah.
These are kind of boilerplate melodies for that's not really true, but the da 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 is such a classic rock kind of thing. Because those 2 notes work extremely well with basically every chord, so who can blame them? Okay, so we moved it up. We were in A, then we moved it up to that B for that moment, and then more. So how do we feel about that? That sort of feels like a new key, but it is close to where we were and where we started, but it just doesn't quite feel like it's connected to those. Especially with that D chord. Again, like thick vocals. They sort of feel like halfway between gang vocals, shouted and chorusy. They are more chorusy at this point. Yeah, is it that the melody also keeps on going with that E? Yeah, that's interesting. So this D feels quite out of place because we've got the A and the B, and then we get the E. So that should be our triumphant. But that's not really how it goes. We get 1, 4, and then we get the flat 7 again, but not the 5 this time. Well, in other contexts, we've been fine with that selection of chords, but here it feels unusual, and that's partly because we've got the E in the melody, and that E is not in that D chord. It doesn't feel like a big clash. It just feels a little bit strange, and we've been playing with the D sharp in that B chord, and now we've got the D natural. So yeah, it's a little bit of a shift, a little bit of a slightly uncomfortable shift in a strange way. Yeah. This is why I'm not making the big bucks. Okay, nice little bit of well, maybe it's a riff, maybe it's just a guitar solo, maybe it comes up again. I hope so. Yeah. Something like that. I like that. That's quite nice. And then the higher version is nice too. Oh yeah. With that on the end. Yeah, nice. And we've got that major minor thing going on again.
In these brackish waters, neither here nor there. We wake up,
Okay, back into the verse, isn't it? Works pretty much the same way. Are we going to go up to B?
We wake up,
Yeah, there we are.
is precious, pulling each other down. We wake up, try.
And the drums, just so I've said it, a very similar thing to what's going on in Rock and Roll Party Cowboy in the main thing. We've got kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, and we've got hi-hat on each of the beats, open hi-hat, so it's really wishy-washy high noise.
To save each other, we wake up and then we drown. Mortal dread.
Okay,
Until death comes, mortal
feels like a similar chorus.
mortal dread. Until death comes, mortal dread.
Different this time, so I complimented Rock and Roll Party Cowboy on having almost constant textural shifts, but this one doesn't feel like it has. That's how both of those sentences should have gone, but I merged them in my head. It doesn't feel like it has the same level of textural focus here. We haven't had that much difference between the first verse and the second verse, or the first chorus and the second chorus, that I've noticed. Maybe the fills have been different, but that's a small thing. Like, if the fills aren't different, then you're really down in the deep end. Okay, we're not quite that far, but we could still probably have some more textural interest going on. Slightly different this time. Something like that. Yeah, slightly different, but still good fun, and still adds quite a lot to the song, actually, just having that nice bit of guitar there. Oh! Is that actually a change of tempo, or is that just half time? 2, 3, 4, 1. No, yeah, it's just half time. Yeah. Taking it down to, it's really like a breakdown of just a few bars there, but yeah, everything's just holding on that E chord, which we'll call chord 1 for now, and then yeah, those drums, it's really just the bass drum that's doing anything interesting, but everything has doubled in length. It's twice as long to get to the snare hit. The hi-hat's still going on every beat, but the distance for the snare really makes a big difference and makes that feel much more expansive than the tight groove we had just before.
I wake up and I just don't get it. Shedding invisible tan.
Wow, very different. E we were comfortable with, but we have this little bit of melody, and it's up there and it's up there as well, and maybe some synths doing that, and then we've still got the slow groove, and that is the sharp 4 of this E chord, so it's quite an uncomfortable feeling. And then we go up to the F sharp. We've not had an F sharp before. It's a major F sharp, which goes with that new note that we just got, which is an A sharp, which doesn't go with our A chord. So we are definitely in a different place now. And we get a G, which does not go with our new note, but does go with the B that comes after it. Let's hear it
I
again.
just don't get it. Shit. I wake up and I just don't get it. Shedding the invisible tear.
Yeah, and so we don't get the on that one because that would be too much craziness. To be honest, it would fit, but we get na-na instead. Na-na, which is a little bit strange, but starts with a note that's in the chord, moves away from that, and then we quite quickly come in with the next chord which has that note in. Same thing happens. Na-na. There, moving back to the E. Fun. The voice is quite low as well. A little bit affected as well, but we're quite low in the range. Yeah, it's a very strange texture, very strange section. This has really raised this song in my estimation.
I wake up till that brain inspector as a younger man I used to be.
Well, there is a reference being made, isn't there? But I can't say what it is. There's some Sisters of Mercy feel to it, but I don't think that's who it's meant to be. But it's got that gothic creep to it. Who could it be? Who speaks like this? Maybe like Guns N' Roses. Yeah, that's weird. Oh, yeah, weird stuff. And it doesn't really care. I imagine Justin Hawkins didn't really plan it to be like as weird as I'm finding it with all my theory knowledge. But it is weird. And those vocals as well, just lining the background, just it's scary stuff. Okay, and we're back to where we were before, but now we've got it on that honky tonky piano again. Bum 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 bum. I'm playing a little bit more, with the rhythm feels more off because we haven't got the drums rooting it down. Guitar solo. That particular thing. Is it that? No, it is. Yeah, very, very classic thing to do. And that sounds like some pentatonics coming. Some blues. Just a little bit. And then we're back in with the chorus. So I do really like that, and I think, it happens from time to time, that particular drum fill. So we're going 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it goes 2. So we get that, it's an emphasis on the second quaver of the beats, the bar. So if we're thinking, hang on, were we just counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4? Let's not do that. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 4. So 1, 4. So yeah, on that 1 and is a really exciting place to put another snare hit. Let's hear it one more time. Here it comes. Yeah, so there he gets more of a blend of his voices. Yeah, rather than yeah. It's not his falsetto. It's the mix. Nice. Let's hear it again. Okay, and we did have some choir vocals in there for a bit, but they seem to have gone by now. Yeah. Yeah. No discipline towards endings, really. It's fun, though. It's very sort of unpretentious while being very, very deliberately referential, which is an odd mix. I wouldn't have thought it was really possible age 16, 14. I would have thought that really what you need to do is you need to try and be authentic and original in all aspects of everything. But I guess you end up not being able to do that via everything having either already been done or the basic concept of you build your own authenticity on top of other people's. You can't just do it from nowhere. Even people who are startlingly original, what's really going on there is that their point of connection with art, with music, is different. It's not that it is a entirely new thing that they're doing. They're just connecting with the same old things that everyone else does from a different set of influences. At least that's how I understand it. Go and listen to my music if you want evidence of such a thing. Love you very much. That's The Darkness. Fun, classic sound of these guys. I don't care that the vast majority of people looking for music are not looking for this kind of thing. I have a lot of love for these guys, and I think that they are trying to just make nice music that appeals to them, and that's great, and I think everyone should do that. Anyway, I'm going to go. I hope you have a nice day and life. Bye.